What's up guys, Bloodshed here. Today we're going to talk about Season 27 for Diablo 3, patch 2.7.4. We just got the announcement today, so I'm going to go through everything, talk about my thoughts, make it as fast, concise, but full of information as possible. If you want to support the stream, you could always like the video. You can join to become a member. You can sub on Twitch. All kinds of ways to support me. I don't do any sponsored content, so I just give myself shout outs, I guess. The 16-day PTR testing period begins on July 12th. Now, a lot of people have been asking me when I think the season's gonna start. I think the season will start on the 19th of August. Typically, it's about a month after the PTR ends. So we'll see, but maybe around the 19th. Obviously, it could be the 12th, 19th, or the 26th. If I had to pick, I would say the 19th probably. There is a lot to unpack on this PTR, so it could get pushed back further if there's just too many bugs, too many broken builds, or nothing's working properly. So just bear that in mind. This is all the initial patch notes. The final patch notes we'll definitely cover in another video. Season 27 introduces a new type of consumable item called Angelic Crucible. Once uncovered by a Nephilim, or identified, these heavenly artifacts can be used to sanctify any equipable legendary item. So if it's a legendary item that you have, like say a non-ancient Ingeom, you can take this consumable that you find, put it on the item, turn that item into an ancient, so sanctifying an item reforges it to have a perfect ancient level stat. So you're basically turning items to primal items. All affixes while also preserving the item's legendary power. In addition, this process adds one of 3 new powers for each class. So you take an item, boom, you have an instant ancient version of that item, max affixes, max everything. Now you might not have the right one you want, because different builds require different stats. So you can keep using new angelic crucibles on the item. You can keep breaking it, using it, re-rolling it until you get the right stats and the right legendary power. So we're going to cover the legendary powers here shortly. Here's a quick TLDR of the season theme though. Angelic crucibles are sanctified items and can only be acquired in seasonal play. And will not transfer to your non-season character. So this is just a seasonal theme. It's gonna go away when the season's over, like other themes we had, like Ethereals. Angelic Crucibles can drop anywhere in Sanctuary. You have to be level 70. Players can obtain as many sanctified items as they would like. However, only one can be equipped at a time. So they have powers, so you can't have all the powers. You could swap them out though, like if you have one you want for a speed build or a push build or a group build, as an example. Sank items can be used again using another crucible. Like I said, you can re-roll them for sure. No stats are preserved when sanctifying an item. So you're getting like a fresh primal or a fresh perfect ancient every time. So you can't like say, I wish I had the 10% damage or I wish I had this or that. It's just gonna be max value flipping, which shouldn't take too long, I don't think. Only level 70 equipable items can be sanctified. Crafted items cannot be sanctified. So yeah, if you have any craftable weapons like mojos or anything like that, don't even think about it. You can't do it. Followers cannot equip sanctified items either, so no juicing up Cormac. Here is the legendary power. So barbarians get 3 powers. All classes get 3 powers. I just want to point out, if Blizzard's watching this, please put the best of these on legendaries. Some of these are really good, okay? Like, I'm gonna skip ahead. Hammer the Ancients hits in all directions around the barbarian. That's so amazing for a quality of life change, for speed runs, for pushing. Every 7th cast of Hammer the Ancients unleashes a powerful shockwave. Like, this is really cool. I wish this was on a legendary. So this is one of the powers you can get. Obviously, it'll support a Hoda build. Whirlwind pulls in and holds all enemies within 25 yards. So holds, is this like really good for support group builds? Like how long does it hold it? Forever? I don't know. Like, is it just hold it for a second? All these things we have to test, and I'll do a follow-up video covering any details that we want to get to. Hitting enemies generates stacks of Tempest Rhythm. Activating Wrath of the Berserker consumes 50 stacks of Tempest Rhythm and startles enemies within 16 yards, causing them to take 0.5% of damage per stack. So you can have 50% damage increase. So you can Whirlwind Barb around, build it up, build it up, build it up, and then, you know, cast Tempest Rhythm and then have like a nice damage bonus or boost or whatever it is. So all these seem pretty good for Barb. Barb got a good breadth of affixes to choose from, so that's awesome right there. I could definitely see this working with Frenzy and, you know, Whirlwind Barb and things like that. Anybody that uses Wrath of Berserker, who doesn't want 50% damage increase, right? And then obviously Hoda with Hoda, Lon Hoda, IK Hoda, Whirlwind pulls in and holds enemies. You already have Weapon Chain, so I don't know how powerful this would be, but if you're lazy, I mean, yeah, or if you're playing support for sure. So next one we have here is Crusader. We don't want to skip ahead. I like this first one. Blessed Hammer now crackles with energy, damaging enemies within 15 yards of its path. All runes but Dominion now throw in a direct straight path in front of the Crusader. So it's like an Impale build, just like faster, because the complementing legendaries for Hammer are really fast. So I'm a big fan of this. I want this to be in the game after the season's over. I feel like this is really fun, and it kind of pays homage to like these older builds. Like they're simple but effective, like the way that they redesigned Invoker. I love these kind of builds where it's just like generator. It's not a generator, but it feels like a generator build, you know? The next one, every 2 seconds, call down a Fist of Heavens on a random enemy. So this is kind of boring, but maybe for speeds, you know, it give Fist of Heavens more value. Yeah, it's kind of like a bombardment Fist of Heavens. I don't know. The third one, after casting Falling Sword, you descend from the sky with 2 archangels that wield immense holy skills. They benefit from your holy damage skill modifiers. So again, we need to test this. Are they gonna, is it like having a shadow clone or a copy? Like, are they gonna cast the same skills you do? Are they all gonna throw out hammers too, right? Are they all gonna throw out Fist of Heavens? Or I don't really know how it works. Do you stack holy damage, like holy skill damage everywhere? I have to test it, but it looks fun. Hopefully it scales well. Could be really fun. Demon Hunter. This one, again, really like a banger item, right? We have this top one already in the game with generators, right? So Strafe now casts the last non-channeled hatred spending ability. So multi-shot, you know, cluster arrow, even Fan of Knives has a spender that you could use for this. Now cast the last non-channeled hatred spending ability casted. So this would be really fun for speeds or for pushing, or I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, Godset's already fast, so now this just makes it even more cracked out. And we already used the Yang's Recurve Bow for speeds anyway, so this could be a really good Paragon farmer. I'm excited. Casting Vengeance unleashes a barrage of rockets. Think about that. Just hitting Vengeance unleashes a barrage of rockets that deal damage equal to percentage of an enemy's current hit point. So Natalia has Vengeance up quite often. The percentage per rocket is reduced if an enemy is an elite or a boss. Just because it's reduced doesn't mean it won't hit really hard. So I'm excited to test this. This should probably be in the game. There's a Lost Ark ability where the artillerist, he has an ultimate, he shoots like a bunch of rockets. I just can imagine all the rockets flying everywhere, kicking ass. This effect cannot occur more than once a minute. So I take that back. Anybody can do well for 1 minute. Never mind. Firing a cluster arrow concentrates its explosive force into a piercing ray of light. So this changes cluster arrow to this piercing ray of light. I don't exactly know what that means. Maybe now it can pierce targets, so it'll be more effective, like an Iron Man beam or something like that. So that'd be interesting to see what it even looks like, what spell effect they went with. Monks, casting Wave of Light now summons a bell at the target location. The bell deals damage when the caster attacks the bell. So you cast a Wave of Light on the same spot where you casted it. Up to 7 bells can be active at one time. So it just makes Wave of Light better. Wave of Light's arguably the best build in the game, like maybe top 2 at least, top 3. So now it's just better. So cool. Shout out to Wave of Light monks out there. You're just going to be better than you were. This next one's weird. I don't really understand it. I want to test it. All Way of the 100 Fist combo punches use the second stage combo punch. The second stage is just attacking really fast. Like the first one is the setup, stage 2 is the fast punches, and then stage 3 is the knock up, or like there's like a different effect, right? Like a pushback. So I don't really know the value of this. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments below. Way of the 100 Fist combo punches use the second stage. So we'll figure it out. We'll see if it's good or not. It seems kind of trash right now, but maybe I don't see the vision, okay? The target of your 7-sided strike is barraged with spiritual punches for 15 seconds. People are saying there's a Hunter versus Hunter anime where they show this off. I think of the Naruto guy where he's sitting there and he's like, has like all these spirit punches. So this could be really good for a single target. This can only affect one enemy at a time. So this is kind of interesting. Again, it's kind of gimmicky, but I'm excited because it's fun. It sounds fun to look at. Up next, we have the Necromancer. Let me adjust this. There's a lot of text for the Necro. Okay, that's fine. Your Golem now picks up corpses. Each corpse stores allows you to cast any corpse spending ability with the max number of corpses consumed per cast. Up to 30 corpses can be stored. So this legendary allows you to have like a quiver of corpses. Like he's your ammo guy. A lot of times when you get to the Rift Guardian or you don't kill enemies for a while, you're starving for corpses. This looks like it should be a legendary in the game, right? This kind of alleviates that problem where you just have corpses in your bag ready to go. Enemies within 50 yards. Can I get a Golem Hearst Transmog on the MTX shop, please? Enemies within 50 yards are constantly assaulted by Army of the Dead. This is crazy. Do you guys know what Army of the Dead looks like? Army of the Dead is when all the zombies on the map run to the center. They pull everybody in. Enemies within 50 yards, which is huge, are constantly assaulted by Army of the Dead. That's what unconventional warfare is, right? So I don't know if it's just gonna cast over and over. Is this gonna make Rothma just insane? Or are they gonna just hang around and then just go left and right and hit different targets? This seems crazy, but we'll see. We'll see. Hitting enemies with Death Nova 5 consecutive times adds a spirit that afflicts an enemy every 5th cast of Death Nova. Up to 3 spirits can be sent at a time. So this is a nice buff for Death Nova. They buff Trigul. Spoilers. This should work really well with Trigul set. So we'll get to that in a second. My Trigul players out there. Witch Doctor. 5 seconds after casting Haunt, all haunted enemies within 50 yards are pulled to the Witch Doctor. I don't see the vision for this either. I wish it was like Piranha Nado that did it. You know, you just cast Piranha Nado and then now Piranha Nado has a 25-yard radius or 50-yard radius. Yeah, I don't really see the vision here. Again, maybe you guys can tell me in the comments below. 5 seconds is a long time, so you can't really use it for speeds. Maybe for pushing and grouping, you can get that full Jade, because if everybody's grouped, then with Jade, you can get like a big explosion. I don't know. This right here is good, but it's pretty boring. Horrify becomes an aura that causes enemies to receive 15% more damage and deal 15% less damage. So this can pretty much be slotted in almost any build. It's a straight damage increase for Witch Doctor, but compared to the other things, it's kind of just boring, right? It's just a flat damage increase, nothing exciting. I guess you could use it for a support build too, or the top one can be a support build also. Your Gargantuan spreads Locust Swarm. So this is really good if you don't want to carry Locust Swarm on your bar and you have a Gargantuan somehow. So you have to carry Gargantuan though. To an enemy within 16 yards. Any enemy within 16 yards, and summons zombie dogs periodically. So we don't know what periodically means. Is that every 30 seconds? Is it 1 second? It could dramatically change the build, right? Zombie dogs now gain every rune when summoned. So is there going to be a sacrifice build with this? Probably not. Can you use like a tall man's finger or whatever to get the one big massive dog to do a lot of damage? Maybe for speeds, maybe for like a pet build. We have to see. This one's the most interesting. I'm curious to see how it pans out. This one's going to be the most used probably. And I don't understand that. Support doc, I guess. All right, on to my wizard bros, okay? You ready? Casting Storm Armor sends a power thunderbolt from the skies that instantly kills a random enemy. Bosses are not killed but take significant damage. This cannot occur more than once a minute. So kind of like the Demon Hunter rockets, I think it's helping the single target, right? The Demon Hunter rockets probably good against single target. This is probably really good against single target. Like if you're playing Twister Wizard or Meteor Shower or whatever, you clear all the density, and then that every minute you're getting like a huge lightning bolt. I'm curious to see if Stricken stacking affects the lightning bolt or the rockets. It should affect the rockets for Demon Hunter, but that way you're building up Stricken, and then when you get that lightning bolt, it's going to hit really hard, you know? Arcane Orb now periodically spawns up to 4 orbiting charges that will generate an additional orb when cast. All charges from the Arcane Orbit rune now detonate at the same time. So this kind of speaks to melee DMO, if you remember that build back in like season 5. This could be really good and needs to be tested. But other than that, I mean, I don't think you can use it for speeds or anything. So Magic Missile. Okay, so let me scroll a little bit so you can see it. This is really interesting. Okay, think about it. There's 2 generator attack speed buffs for Wizard, right? We have the belt and we have the weapon. Okay, so you can attack really fast. That's not counting, you know, Pain Enhancer, Gogok, all that stuff. Magic Missile fires 20 missiles and gains the effect of Seeker Rune. Seeker Rune like seeks out targets, like the closest target to you. This seems crazy if it works with Firebird, right? With Firebird, when you hit the target, it applies the debuff. So if all 20 missiles apply the Firebird debuff, that's going to be out of control damage. But it's probably going to have an internal cooldown. It probably won't work that way. But damn, if it works, it'll be really good. If it doesn't work with Firebird, you can stack it with DMO. They did buff DMO. We're gonna learn about that pretty soon. It should be really good build as a generator build with DMO if it doesn't work with Firebird. Okay, the developer note, with Lords of Hell season, we explored what Nephilim would do if possessed by the powers of hell. This season, we invite players to witness what Nephilim can accomplish with the powers of heaven. Our goal with 21 unique class powers was to introduce changes to skills that can redefine the way you play, build, or set. We're excited to see how players will harness the powers of heaven in season 27. Heaven 7. Okay. These are some general updates. Adventure mode is unlocked for all accounts. So if you have a new account, you're no longer required to complete the campaign. This pretty much was already like that in the seasonal mode, but now it doesn't matter. So that's cool. Default difficulty selection has been updated for all players and all platforms. All players will now have access to normal T6 by default. Again, if you have a new account or you've never played it before, they put you up to, I think the highest you can go is hard or expert, but now anybody can go to T6 anytime. Upon reaching level 70, players gain access to Torment 7 to 16. So I think this is saying new season comes out, we hit, you know, max level, we can instantly go to T16 if we wanted. So that sounds pretty good. Uber bosses now reset new close after 60 seconds after the boss has been defeated. Additional portals to the same Uber boss realm can now be opened in a single game session. And something that kind of hurts me a little bit, all right? The experience rewarded upon completing Echoing Nightmare has been reduced by 83%. This should say, experience rewarded upon completion of Echoing Nightmare while in a group is reduced by 83%. This is the perfect opportunity to give solo players just a little bit of help, right? Against group players, just a little bit of it, like, hey, when you get a Echoing Nightmare, you get a little bit of love, right? So this would be a nice time to do that, Blizz. So if you could add that change, I'd appreciate it, you know? With Echo, so if you don't know, Echoing Nightmare is going to transition to non-season. If you don't know what Echoing Nightmare is, it's a token. You use it in the cube, it opens up a portal. The portal gives you access to getting up to 125 level augments, loot, blood shards, but what you get is a boatload of XP also. This was like the best way to farm Paragon. So they're nerfing it, right? They're saying that It's a permanent feature moving forward. We felt it was necessary to dial back the experience rewards to avoid players feeling obligated to maximize their time spent inside this activity. Our vision for the Echoing Nightmare is to be a fun bonus activity like the Vault that serves as a good source of loot and augment materials. So yeah, they didn't want to just like that our whole life to be revolved around it. Playing solo, I do speeds anyway. I don't feel like my life's only revolved around doing riffs, doing greater riffs, doing riffs, doing greater riffs. Oh, I got an item. Petrified Scream, Echoing Nightmare, right? Like, so it's not like there's like so many things, but whatever. Item changes. Guardian's Jeopardy. So this is the crafted set. A 2-piece bonus, your base vitality attribute from equipped items is increased by 50%. So a vit from your items. And this is what people are freaking out about. I don't think this is strong at all, or like broken anyway. It might be strong for early game, but your base strength, dex, and intelligence attributes from equipped items. So your equipped items are increased by 50%. So in my opinion, it's not going to count augments. It's not going to count Paragon. So like at 70, I don't know, you're probably around like what, with no augments and no Paragon, you have what, 7,000 main stat. So now you're going to be at 10,500, or let's say you have 8,500 main stat, you get another 4K. Is it worth carrying a 2-piece for this with a Ring of Royal Grandeur? Maybe I don't see the vision. You guys can like let me know, or I'm going to test it on Tuesday, right? I don't see it. I think it's cool that they're doing something with it, and I might use this early game if I happen to get the pattern before anything else. But I don't know, chat. I don't know. We've heard from players that the crafted 3-piece sets have had some of the most significant impacts on itemization, so we're introducing another one to add more choice. A lot of people are telling me it's more damage than Captain, which is crazy, but it depends on the build maybe, you know? So I want more options, so hopefully it's good. So they buffed the Akan set. They finally gave us a Phalanx, but the Phalanx just lowers the cooldown of Akrat's Champion. So it's cool that you get to run around with them now, but they're just hitting like kind of how like the Barb Ancients are giving you resource or whatever, or sometimes lowering the cooldown depending on what rune. So this is the same concept, right? Or like the Necromancer minions are lowering the cooldown on hit. Judgment has no cooldown, gains the effect of every rune. Attacks from Phalanx avatars reduce the cooldown of Akrat's Champion, and also apply Condemn when attacking enemies affected by Judgment. That's fine. And then there's an Eternal Union here. Increase the duration of summoned Phalanx Bowman and Bodyguard indefinitely. So you're pretty much going to have these pets with you, and it's going to feel like a different set because you have these permanent pets, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it should be fine. Akan has always been around, like hanging around the strong B tier, sometimes A tier, depending on the season or the build. Yeah, Akan is great. You can play Thorns, you can play, you know, Condemn, Bless Shield. You can pretty much do anything. So yeah, this is fine. It's not what we wanted, but at least it's something, right? Our goal with Akan is to rework the narrow focus of the set to give a distinctive identity, highlighting the fantasy where Crusader is the Knight Commander, passing judgment on the enemies of the light. So Trigul got buffed. There's a lot of words here, but basically the Trigul set is tankier. It does more damage. You're going to focus on using Siphon Blood and Death Nova, Blood Nova, right? That's pretty much it. We've already had this build in the game. Now it just hits harder and is tankier. Like it's already been like an oldie but a goodie at this point now, right? Yeah. So hold down Siphon Blood. It should be a channeling build. Power shift is now 20% per stack. Yeah, channeling, Trigul, tanky build. We wanted to recapture the Blood Necromancer fantasy of Trigul's avatar and increase its effectiveness against single targets. Pretty good. DMO got rework, kind of. Now the orb follows you around with the Crown of the Primus. It gains the effect of every rune and follows you around. In addition, when you cast one of these abilities, like Meteor, I used Meteor for a reason, or Magic Missile, it casts a bubble on the target, right? Let me see if I can find it. Also cast slow time at a target. So you have a permanent bubble on your character, and wherever you cast, there's a bubble. So there's basically, you don't ever have to think about DMO ever again. It's not DMO, it's just a passive buff. You're gonna be full on bubble boy, bubble girl. Bubbles are gonna be everywhere, and you never have to think about it. It also lowers the cooldown of teleport, which is nice. And that's pretty much it for DMO. You take 75% reduced damage. Allies inside your slow time gain half the benefit, so that's nice. They get about, what, 37.5% damage reduction. That's pretty cool. They buffed Tal Rasha, the 2-piece bonus. Okay, so this is interesting, but I don't think it's going to be that good. I'll tell you why, okay? I'm just trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be honest. When you use Arcane, Cold, Fire, or Lightning, you grant immunity to that element. So you're immune. Like you see Arcane Beam, you drop your Arcane spell, and then boom, you cannot be hit by Arcane, right? That's great. But as somebody who's played many, many hours of Tal Rasha, you're bad if you die to beams, right? You just jump over them with teleport, right? It could come in handy. Sometimes Frozen Pulse will catch you, but you just teleport away. Like you shouldn't really be getting killed often. Maybe lightning can catch you sometimes because it creeps up on you. But yeah, what kills you is physical damage. You know, impalers, lashers, Golgors, unburied, like pretty much everyone has physical damage, right? Archers, you know, Blighter doesn't really kill you with poison. That big punch he does can proc you, right? That's a physical punch. So yeah, I don't know if that is cool though, but I don't know how, you know, it should be like, it should give you like at least 25% damage reduction, or a better idea. Okay, so the 4-piece, when you cast your elements, each increase all of your resistances by 50%. So that does help with physical, but it should also increase your shields by 50%. Because it's still going to be hella squishy, right? So then you get a little bit of shield bonus. You can use Ash Nagars and Galvanizing Ward to balance out the shields and your resistances, right? It should give you flat damage reduction, or it should give you a shield bonus on top of your resistances. Everybody gets really good damage reduction, but why not Tal Rasha? Like DMO gets 75% DR here. Okay, another controversial thing probably. I'm on a sick one today. I'm excited about the season, by the way. Again, I want to say, like, I'm super excited that there's so many different builds to try. I can't wait to get on the PTR and try everything. Okay? The Smoldering Core. Lesser enemies are now lured by your meteor impact areas. Meteors deal 40 to 50% increased damage on consecutive hits to the same target. This stacks up to 10 times. So now you're looking at a 500% potential multiplier to meteor. You know me, I created the meteor shower build for, you know, a wizard. Pretty much I love everything about it. This is like, I'm subbing waiting for this for so long. Meteor shower is back, baby. The only problem is I just wish it was back a little bit better, because they're saying right here that they're trying to make it the DMO, Okay, the core of Tal Rasha elements has changed over time. So we're revisiting it to reintroduce a playstyle that utilizes meteor. But it doesn't make any sense that it utilizes meteor, because DMO hits harder. Unless I'm missing something. Lawn should hit harder, right? Their set bonuses are stronger. DMO's like a 12,500 set bonus. You know, Lawn's almost 10K. Tal Rasha's only 8,000. So you might be like, well, Blood, Tal Rasha drops meteors, so that extra multiplier, this meteor cannot happen twice in a row. So this drops a meteor, right? So, but that's not even anything, you know? If you use meteor shower, you're dropping 7 meteors at a time. It's just a minimal increase. I can't imagine anybody would use Tal Rasha for meteor. So again, it should say, the 6-piece should say grants 8,000% damage to all skills and 8,000% damage to meteors, right? Or meteor shower, right? Because it doesn't make any sense why anybody would use Tal Rasha unless I'm missing something dramatic here. So as much as I like Tal Rasha meteor shower, they need to change it. Otherwise, we're just not going to ever use it still. Like, it's still, like, all they did was give you immunities, right? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that. Again, maybe I don't see the vision. Oh, and they nerfed the hell out of Inez. I don't know how bad this is until I play it, but it looks pretty bad, chat. It looks pretty bad. They even came with the vengeance too, the smoke right here. They said, Inez have been riding high on the waves of success for several seasons, so it's time to bring in the Nerf Shark. Do, baby. So, but with so many builds to play this season, I don't think it matters that much. If I could offer criticism, why nerf Firebird so hard, right? It doesn't, why take builds away, right? Why nerf Monk so hard? Why not just leave it there? You know, people like it, it's fun. Why not bring it down to A tier? Why slap it down? So why curb stomp it? I don't understand. Why take away when you can add? But there's so much to play right now. It's almost like you're getting fed, you know, if you spill the cookies and you have a bunch of other cookies, you're like, okay, it's not so bad. Bug fixes, Empyrean Messenger, cool, we care about that. Crimson Trimmings, fixed a bug that caused the 3-piece to occasionally drop off. I didn't know about this, so this is great if this was happening. Updated Bone Spike and Siphon Blood tooltips to reflect the appropriate damage values. Cool, so great. This comes out on the 12th, which is Tuesday. Hopefully it comes out early. I'm gonna spend as much time on the PTR as I can, level, test everything, get back to you guys, update the website, you know, get all the builds dialed in. Really excited for the new season. Yeah, again, it should be in about a month after the season, after the PTR starts is usually the process. That's gonna be all for me today. My voice is killing me, chat. This is Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.